One of the most difficult things about being stuck in quarantine is that my kids are asking me for snacks like every single second of every day. And I know you're having this trouble too. So we brought Dr. Regina Crone in. She's going to give us some tips. She's come up with the Easy Egg Carton Snack Tray. And you guys, this is going to change everything.
Okay, so here's what it looks like. These are clear, which is great because they're also washable, but I wanted to show you that they're stackable. So you can do this for multiple kids. It doesn't have to be just for one kiddo, which is kind of nice. So the idea is to create a healthy variety of what your kids are eating and also some independence. So they're not having to come and ask you constantly, can I have this? Can I have this? Can I have this? Which oftentimes creates a lot of frustration just as a mom, managing what all your kids are eating and running after them trying to get away with their eating. And so this is an easy way to facilitate some independence and hopefully variety with what they're eating. And so here's the idea is, I'm gonna move this down so you can see. We have the sheets that Julie told you about. This is right here. And you just cut them in 2 strips, or you can cut them individually, however it works. And basically you line them up to where they go in the egg carton. And so you can kind of see sweets are here, sweets are there, nuts are there. Anyway, they're all arranged, and then this creates independence of designing what you want and to eat that day. Okay, the second thing is so that creates choice, but then the second thing is measuring. How do we make sure that our kids aren't just going to like go and grab a handful of the chocolate chips and put them in here, right? So we want to also teach with this independence the measuring of a tablespoon. So whenever you're looking at, like, for example, the sweets or anything loose, all you have to do is use a tablespoon, and that equals what can go into that egg carton area. And so that is kind of how you're going to set this up to make sure that your kids have some variety. Again, there's vegetables, there's crunchies, there's a whole bunch going on here. Okay, the next thing that you're going to really look at is we want to make sure that kids are not just eating what they like and then filling back up the pieces that they like, right? So there's some rules with this. So the number 1 rule is you have to finish what the entire container before you get to fill it back up again. But you can fill it up as many times as you want in a day. So once this is all gone, then you can go fill it back up. And then here comes the fun kind of the built-in reinforcement to this is you already have the sweet stuff, the stuff that maybe you like or enjoy. Maybe there's some crunchies that you really like, some cereal or something. And so there's motivation to get through the entire container because I get a whole nother container of the things I like as well. And so we're creating that independence, we're creating that kind of variety in what they're eating. And there's a great visual representation as to when you get to fill it back up because it's all gone by the time you get there. All right, the next part that adds some control, I think, for kiddos and independence again and facilitating more choice is they get to eat this however they want. It doesn't have to go in any kind of order. It doesn't have to be the sweets after the vegetables. So they can have a bite of this, a bite of this, a bite of this. It doesn't matter. They can graze through it. So there's a lot of freedom with how you're eating it. It's just moms, you can control what they're eating for the day. So there you go. Really quick, here's another just tip. If you do not have an egg carton, or let's say you don't want to take an open egg carton in your car or somewhere you're going, you can cut these out. And again, here's like fruit, here's crunchies, just again, facilitating independence. They can match the shapes and then fill up this snack box in the same way. And it clips and comes together, and then you're on your way. So those are 2 tips for hopefully making snacks easier at your house.
Yeah, I think those are absolutely fabulous. I love how it gives the child ownership. Like, so if you're putting it together, if they're putting it together by themselves or with you, they're actually owning each of these things they're going to have to eat. And it kind of mentally prepares them to eat all of these things. And the other thing is they're not going to drive us crazy anymore by asking us all day long for food. I do have like one little concern I wanted to ask you about. A lot of our kids are not just picky, they're problem eaters. And there is a gazillion foods they won't eat. So what do you do about those kids?
Okay, so this program is not going to be designed to introduce any new foods or feeding programs or anything like that. This is really for food that's in maintenance phase and they are willing to eat and they can tolerate textures, all those kind of things. So don't introduce new scary foods in this. What you can do though, so if your kid is resistant to, maybe they like vegetables, but this doesn't seem really cool on the vegetable idea is, you know, you can control what you put in here, how much it is when you get this thing started. So maybe in the vegetable section, you just use like, this is a purple broccoli for color effect there. maybe just use a tiny little bit to put in there to start until you can build up to some greater quantities with the things that you prefer them to eat.
Okay, I think that's great. This is great information. I think it's going to be really helpful in our home. And honestly, I think I could use to put myself on this program because I'm eating too much junk food as well. So
All
this
of us.
is for moms. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, check out either of our pages at Therapy and Beyond or at United in Autism, or check out Sunshine in the Spectrum on YouTube. Thanks so much.
Bye.